blessed and purified light of God. Every day can be the day that the heart proclaims, today I will see only love. Today I will remember that everyone is the purified perfection of God. When the end of the day arrives, there can be several choices. One is to look at the day and ask within whether you remembered to love, remembered that everyone was innocent and purified. That would be the willingness to begin again, to surrender into the hands of God all of the temptations that came during the day that became the forgetting of reality, but that a new day is beginning. And every day that the intention can get stronger and stronger. Or you can look at the day that just finished, and you can have reasons for every time that you forgot the truth of love. Maybe even arguing with God of why it made perfect sense to forget, to bless, and to remember the truth of love within every beloved. The second choice is the choice that is like carrying bricks behind you and dragging them along, because it keeps everything going as slowly as possible, allowing the ego to battle with the truth as if truth would battle back. But truth doesn't battle back. So the ego may consider itself to be the victor on that day, or any day that it gets a chance to argue. But the simple road is the first, to remember that tomorrow is the new day, ready for a stronger yes. And looking at the day that passed and being willing in honesty to recognize, oh, yeah, I could feel the arrogance of the ego in that moment. I could feel the fear that came. But in that wanting to begin again, there's also a deep forgiveness, a self-forgiveness, and a learning that comes with that self-forgiveness, and a learning that comes with the willingness to begin again. God does not keep score. There is no time that can be measured in the journey. The only measure is the pain and the suffering in prolonging and dragging yourself to the truth. But every day can begin again. Every day is brand new. And you can increase, you can affirm. And that affirming in the new day will have more strength, will have more clarity, will have more humility to be able to say, yes, I want to begin again. And today, I want to see every beloved in the purity and truth, of divine equality within the world. Begin again and again and again. And if the ego mind wants to have an opinion, that is the moment of rejection. The ego's opinion will mean nothing. It will mean nothing but poison to the heart that wants to begin again. The judgment of the ego, it's really a ridiculous voice, because the ego itself is all judgment, all condemnation, all sense of differences, all battles. And yet, the ego would have you believe that its judgment has value, but it never does. Allow the Holy Spirit to show you the way of correction. Let the Holy Spirit show you the way of the true forgiveness that will take you so far that you won't recognize where you are. But be happy that you can't recognize where you are, because the newness of peace has to be embraced. No judgment is going to be helpful. Except a new day, the chance to begin again. When I feel this pain inside and I find nowhere to hide, Mother, rain your love on me. Mother, rain your love on me. Mother, rain your love on me. The sorrow now imprisons me. Somehow I need to be set free. Mother, rain your love on me. Mother, rain your love on me. Mother, rain your love on me. Heal me of my hurt and fear. Reveal the face of God so near. Mother, rain your love on me. Mother, rain your love on me. Mother, rain your love on me. The safety of a mother's care, for Jesus it was always there. Mother, rain your love on me. Mother, rain your love on me. Mother, rain your love on me. Thank you for the love you give. In compassion for your Son I live. Mother, rain your love on me. Mother, rain your love on me. Mother, rain your love on me. Can this be the prayer at the end of the day? Mother, rain your love on me. Help me to begin again. Help me to realize that the sorrow that imprisons was made in the mind. It wasn't caused by anything outside. It was all caused from a mind that believes that battle is real. And all of healing wants to bring the truth of sanity to your mind and to open the heart so that you can rest in the joy and the perfection of God's grace. Heal me of my hurt and fear. Heal me of my hurt and fear. That's all that's needed to be said. heal me of my hurt and fear. The divine can't hear the story that goes with it, the information that the ego mind wants to somehow hold on to and dance with, even in healing. It's heal me of my hurt and fear. Heal me of what I've made up. Heal my belief that I can be hurt. Heal my belief that I can be separate. Heal everything that is not the truth of love. Then healing becomes so simple. Nothing has to be held on to of the story that the ego so loves and wants details and wants reasons. No, heal me of my hurt and fear because I've made it up. Heal me of everything that I've conjured up in all these lifetimes. Heal me of my hurt and fear. Heal me. In the truth of your love, dear Mother, we ask for healing. Show us the way, Divine Mother, Mother of Charity, that knows exactly what there is to be healed. Only for your love, dear Mother, heal what is necessary in this moment. I don't have to say what it is because everything is already known to the Divine Mother. Heal me, heal me, heal me. Apenas por vosso amor, apenas por caridade, a vós te damos louvor, ó Virgem da Castidade. Apenas por vosso amor, atendo nosso chamado, ajuda nosso cessar a curar a necessitado. It's sometimes difficult to imagine that the power of healing through all divine beings, through the truth of love itself, has no need for your explanation of what is being perceived by the mind. Whatever it is that's being held in the ego belief, the divine is already completely aware of what it is that is in need of healing. And it will have nothing to do with the circumstances. It will have nothing to do with your perception of what is going on. This is where it can feel insulting to the ego that wants to make a presentation to the divine about what is going on and what is it that needs healing. The truth of love is completely aware of exactly what is needed for healing. And whether it ever uses the form itself will be a mystery until the form itself is used. That is what surrender is. It's really, I don't know. I don't know all of what is here for healing. And I don't know what it will reveal in that healing. I don't know what I'll be looking at or how I will see it, or what my relationship with the world will be within the healing of love. I don't know. And in that not knowing is the grace. It's the grace, because if in any way you could judge or foresee what will be healed and how it will affect you, it wouldn't be the healing that it is. With healing, remembering, it is impossible to give a description of the healing, of what was healed, of how it was healed, of what got untangled and unraveled. It always goes beyond words. It has to go beyond words. If it was not beyond words, it would not be the mysteries of the universe. It would not be the power of creation transforming within an illusion. Sometimes the most that can be related to is that everything I knew, I don't know. Everything I thought was real, I don't know. Allow yourself to be transported into the vibration of healing love. Transported. You won't be the same with any healing. You can't be the same. Thank God, you can't be the same. And the more bold you become in healing, the more engaged, the more devoted to healing that you become, the deeper the unraveling. And the more that you can trust that while the healing is even occurring, you can't make sense out of it. That gives this divine permission for the spirit of love to come in more deeply. Your welcome of the healing itself, your invitation, your carte blanche. It's like opening the doors of your sanctuary and saying, take it all, come in, do what needs to be done, heal what needs healing. It's all yours. And in that awareness of it's all yours, there is the recognition within that it never was mine. All this time of believing that something was mine, it never was mine. It's all love. And there is a welcoming then also, that welcoming the dissolvement of the mind and happily returning home to the wholeness. Blessed are the beloveds who have grown beyond their greed and have put an end to their hatred and no longer nourish illusions. But they delight in the way that things are and keep their hearts open day and night. They are like trees planted near flowing rivers, which bear fruit when they are ready. Their leaves will not fall or wither. Everything they do will bring light. How long will this belief in pain go on, dear Lord? This grief I can hardly bear. How long will anguish grip me in this illusion and agony wring my mind? Light up my eyes with your presence. Let me feel your love in my bones. Keep me from losing myself in ignorance and despair. Teach me to be patient, dear Lord, and teach me to be endlessly patient. Let me trust that your love enfolds me when my heart feels desolate and dry. I will sing to the Lord at all times, even from the depths of pain. Lord, who can be trusted with power and who may act in your place? Those with a passion for justice, who speak the truth from their hearts, who have let go of selfish interests and grown beyond their own lives, who see the wretched as their family and the poor as their flesh and blood. They alone are impartial and worthy of the people's trust. Their compassion lights up the whole earth, and their kindness endures forever. Lord, show me the way. Every prayer has the power of the universe within it. You may say prayers silently or out loud and may wonder whether they're received or whether they're heard. They are so heard that it's almost like a lightning bolt that runs from your heart to the divine. And it's not because that connection isn't there all the time. But when you pray, your spirit, your soul, is screaming, not because of anger, but because it can't help itself. Hear my prayer. It doesn't matter whether the words come out in a whisper. The power of the prayer is already vibrating deeply within you and exclaiming your passion, your wanting. Heal me, heal me, heal me. Love is the funeral pyre. Love is the funeral pyre where I have laid my living body. All the false notions of myself that once caused fear and pain have turned to ash as I neared God. What has risen from the tangled web of thought and sinew now shines with jubilation through the eyes of angels, having been truly surrendered, and screams from the guts of infinite existence itself. Love is the funeral pyre where the heart must lay its body. Must lay its body. There isn't much thought about love and the funeral pyre being the same, but that is the depth of surrender that is being called for. I will do anything. I will do anything to remember. I want nothing else but to remember. I will happily lay down and let the fire begin if I can remember through that fire. I will do anything to remember. So what gets burned up in love are all the false notions of yourself that once caused fear and pain. They burn up. They have to burn up. If they're not true, if they're finally rejected, they burn up. They no longer have a place in your life because they have no honesty and no truth. Imagine that you would open the doors of your sanctuary and invite in a liar, that you would invite in something that would cause havoc, that would try to disturb everything all the time. That's the ego. Opening the door to the ego is the regret of being separate. But you can close the door. Truly, you can close the door. As a matter of fact, you have to close the door. No one else can close the door. When we invited in the ego, it was the invitation to pain, scarcity, separation. But once you recognize even just a little bit that it isn't God's will for you to suffer, it is the ego's will that you suffer, but it is not God's will that you suffer. And then you begin to choose. What has caused all this fear? What has taken its hold and made hatred and fear synonymous with each other? And why would anyone want to have fear or to have hatred? What would be the purpose? Except if you believed that you were in danger and that that was the remedy. And all of love calls in every divine teaching to realize that no, there is no hatred in God. There is no hatred in love. There is no fear in love. That only comes from that false identity that was let in the beginning of incarnation. Give it all into the fire of love. Let it be cleansed through truth, through love, through peace, through forgiveness, because that's the only way that it actually heals. Being truthful. There's a beautiful teaching that I wrote down. The belief in conflict must be resolved. It cannot be evaded, set aside, denied, disguised, seen somewhere else, called by another name, or hidden by deceit of any kind, if it is to be healed. It must be seen exactly as it is, and with the mind's purpose that was given, for only then are its defenses lifted and the truth can shine upon it as it disappears. Conflict is an illusion. Conflict has been made up in the mind and has to be seen for what it is, nothing, having no value and no honesty to it at all. How can conflict be healed except by seeing it for what it really is? Conflict says there are two opinions, that there are two or more perceptions. But in the truth of love, conflict is all coming from one mind. If you believe in conflict, it is in your mind. It is in your identity that is suffering through that belief in conflict. Putting the sword down. In the truth of love, the end of conflict is when you're able to put the sword down and drop to your knees. Everything in the ego identity says, no way, I could be hurt. But in the truth of love, love recognizes that to drop the sword, drop to the knees, love shows up. Love takes over. Love appears. And love heals. There can be no conflict in love. It's impossible for there to be conflict in love. Conflict says that something is being believed in within the world. Something has been taken and made into a battle. But love was made by fear. Conflict was made by fear. It has no source other than the lies of its own story, its own making. And whoever is sanest must bring the healing to the perception of conflict. Whoever is sanest. The ego would say that healing conflict or dropping the sword would be the same as the funeral pyre, that you could be destroyed by dropping the sword, by not winning. But if you look really carefully with honesty, you will see that there never has been a conflict that has won at all. Conflict cannot win. With every belief in conflict, your awareness of God diminishes. It goes behind the veil of darkness. And you forget just a little bit the truth of love. It doesn't mean that it changes you. It doesn't alter the truth of who you are, but you forget. And conflict rejoices. It rejoices and affirms that you were right. Happiness isn't even an equation. You were right. And there is a belief in a certain satisfaction that the conflict winner gets. But that satisfaction lasts about 10 minutes. And then the fear starts to come back again and rise even more deeply. Because conflict has been seen as legitimate, real, and necessary. Conflict has no possible redeeming element of love. but you do. And you are called to recognize conflict for what it is, whether it's in the mind just rolling around in its irritations, or it's actually brought out into form. The conflict is being called to be healed, to turn to the light and allow the light to heal the perception of conflict. There is a remedy for conflict that can begin way before the conflict meets itself in form, manifests itself. And that is the realization that to try to justify your thoughts is the breeding ground of conflict and battle. Justifying thoughts. Because the conflict, the battle is coming from the mind. And if you are justifying the thoughts that are coming from the mind, you're setting up the groundwork for the invitation for conflict. Imagine that you would have some kind of reaction to another beloved, and in that reaction, you start justifying your thoughts because somebody's got to be at fault. Imagine that in that moment, something would take your attention, and it was the spirit of love. And that spirit of love was saying, there's nothing happening. There's nothing to battle with. You've just lost your direction. Come back to peace and stop trying to justify your thoughts, your beliefs, and let love lead you. Let love show you how to bring the grace of God into every situation, into every relationship, bringing back the truth of love. Follow, 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 follow. And when finally the relationship with conflict has no more interest, it will fade to nothing. It will fade to nothing because it was nothing. And you can be free of battle or conflict. And your thoughts can be freed from justification. And you begin dancing because you don't know. And because God is leading in every moment. Show me the way. And help me to correct all of my thoughts that I no longer am willing to justify them, to meet in the world of conflict and battle. Bringer of peace is what and who you are. And as the bringer of peace, conflict doesn't interest anymore. Nothing to get even with, nothing to win, nothing to get, only love. The funeral pyre where I have laid my living body and all false notions of myself that once caused fear and pain have turned to ash as I have neared God. Be happy for it to be turned to ash. Be happy to dissolve into love. What has risen from the tangled web of thoughts and sinnoh now shines with jubilation through the eyes of angels. Give it all, surrender it all, and come empty unto God. I have no stories to tell. I have no identity that needs proving. I have no fears and no pain for conflict. That's where you can rest in God. Moment to moment, day to day. Begin again. With no judgment. And the willingness to follow. The willingness, show me